All right, everybody, welcome in NorCal Sports Network Friday night edition. Giants get the big win. Bora will be joining us shortly. In fact, here he is now, just in time as we get ready to go. Guys, thanks for being part of NorCal Sports Network. We can be heard right here on YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, also on Spotify, and what else? TikTok and Instagram.
Everything.
There we go. Hey, listen up, Giovanni. I'm going to smack you right now, or I'm going to kick you out of here. I'll tell you what. Don't give me no Chapman crap, okay? Pay his man the money. Get out of the chat. I don't want to hear it. Get out of here, Giovanni. So the guy comes through. Finally. Still only got 65 RBIs. How many times has he not come through during the season clutch? What's his batting average with runners in scoring position? Like less than 200, I bet. Give me a break. Give me a break. If I seem a little pissed. I predicted the score tonight, by the way.
Did you?
I said 3-1 Giants on the show earlier today.
Okay.
3-1, okay? And I said they'll win Sunday. They'll lose tomorrow. You watch. They'll lose tomorrow. They're not going to sweep the Marlins. They suck. And I'm a little pissed off they won right now because they didn't get the runs for Blake Snell. Doggone it. I have Blake Snell on my fantasy team. I need wins, and you can't score a run for Blake Snell, and you always come through in the eighth inning against crappy teams. It's like, give me a break. Snell is walking. Why would he want to stand for this crappy show? Give me a break. Geez, score some runs, Giants. You're playing the stinking Marlins. You wait till the eighth inning. They scored 91 runs in the eighth inning this year. They lead the majors in runs scored in the eighth inning. You know why? Because they're last in the first 7. It's about time they score. And you know what else I'm ticked off about? I watched this crappy game, and I could have watched the Diamondbacks-Dodgers 10-9 game. Gosh.
Did you see the Ohtani home run?
I didn't. I was watching the stupid Giants game.
Mm-hmm.
43-43. Asif for Farhan. He's gone at the end of this year. Mark my words. He's going to be gone.
The vibe right now in the whole clubhouse and organization is that's why they sent Estrada down. That's why they put Taylor Rogers on waivers.
Yeah, the gig's over, everybody. The gig's over. And just because you look like Farhan Asif in that picture doesn't mean you have to defend the guy. Let me see that picture of you. You got a bald head. Yeah, wait a minute. Is that Farhan right there? Kind of a little bit resembles him there. Don't have to defend the guy, Asif. He's ruined the franchise. How can you support a guy who's going to have his 5th losing season out of 6? You can't support this guy, Asif, unless you are Farhan. Come on. You can't. You can only support, or are your friends or you're related? Come on, Asif. You can't support this guy. He's destroyed the franchise. Gee. I just put garbage. I had to watch that game tonight. I should have watched the Diamondbacks game. Why didn't I watch the Diamondbacks game?
You're a Giants fan, Dan.
Yeah, I'm Giants. Badly. And I'm watching this. I'm thinking, okay, I'm watching it more for my fantasy team, thinking, let's just get a run for Snell, and that'll be enough. Just get him one run. But yeah, Asif was watching the Dodgers game. Good for you. It was a much better game, much more entertaining. My goodness. Let's go to the box score. They didn't even have any hits hardly until the 8th inning.
Yaz, 1 hit, 3 walks. Ramos, 1 walk. Conforto, 0 for 4, 2 Ks. Chapman, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Bailey, 1 for 4 with 2 Ks. Fitzgerald, 0 for 4, 2 Ks. Wade, 1 for 3, a strikeout. Schmidt, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Schmidt looked horrible. The first
I'm not going to get on Casey, though. You know why? He hasn't had an at-bat in 9 days.
You don't have to. I'll get on him a little bit.
9 games, Bora. You try going up in the major leagues after not facing live pitching for 9
Oh,
games.
I bet it's hard, but I mean that's why they're in the major leagues, right? They have to.
Yeah, but the guy needs to play. What kind of development is this?
But you know what I'll say, the strikeouts are a physical error, but the mental error was the error that he had, the
Yeah,
throwing error.
he threw the ball when the guy had already passed for across first base.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's just, why am I agitated when they win? Because I want Farhan fired. They're not going anywhere. What am I supposed to get all excited for an 81 win team? No. I hope they lose close to 90. They're not making the playoffs. I'm telling you. You want change? You got to get rid of this guy, Farhan. And the way to get rid of him is for this team to fall flat on their ass. Seriously. I'm telling you. They have to have a collapse like they did last year with Kapler. Because if they start collapsing, it's inevitable that they'll get rid of Farhan. They'll just do it. And if they somehow come back and win 82 and 80, you want them to go 82 and 80, Asif, and miss the playoffs, or do you want them to go 75 and 87 and have Farhan's, can down the road?
And a better draft pick.
And what?
And a better draft pick you get.
Better draft pick. What, you tell me. Are you guys satisfied? You want a winning season with this club? You want them to PT you all year long? Prick tease, that's what it stands for. You want them to tease you all year long and then come back at the last week or two and sneak above 500 like the Padres did last year? Is that what you guys want? No, just clean house. I don't want this team. Look, guys, let me pull up the stand player of the game. Anyway, who's the player of the game? It's Matt Chapman, right? And Blake Snell. Those two.
Matt Chapman and Blake Snell. Look at Snell's line: 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts. He's opting out. Guys, don't get your hopes up. He's opting out at the end of the year.
Yeah, heck yeah, absolutely, guys. If you want to know, the hope dwindles every day because you want to know why it dwindles, even though the Giants won. Take a look at the wild card, guys. The Braves won again. Okay. The Mets won again. The Giants are 6.5 out and they have 26 remaining and they got to climb over two teams, really 3.
The Cubs have won 4 in a row. They're on a roll.
Told you guys the Cubs would be there. Look at their run differential. Cubs are going to make a push. I don't think they have enough to get there, but they have a much better shot than the Giants. Guys, this is your last 2 easy games of the season. That's it. And you're not going to win them both, I don't think. I think you lose tomorrow. I think they lose tomorrow.
Who's pitching tomorrow?
They don't know.
Oh,
Mason Black, I think. It's going to be Black.
Oh, it's Black. Yeah, you don't have high hopes.
He's going to groove the ball down the middle. Major league hitters are going to tee off on him.
Mm-hmm.
He has, yeah. All right, so if you look at these standings, 68 and 68. Braves, 74 and 61. If the Braves only win 86 games, that means they go 12 and 15. 12 and 15 will make them 86 and 76. Giants to win 87, because they have to beat them by a game, have to go 19 and 7. Wait, 19 and did I say 87 games they have to win?
87.
Okay, so they have to go 19. That would give them 87 wins and 7 losses. They have to go 19 and 7. Giants only have 26 remaining, guys. 19 and 7. You think the Giants can go 19 and 7?
And
I think the Giants
how many of those are against the Padres and D-backs?
12. I don't think the Giants could go 19 and 7 if they all went down to Sacramento and started playing in AAA. I'm serious. This team would not go 19 and 7 in AAA. Anybody think they would go 19
It's just
and
not
7?
happening.
Anybody
No.
think they would go 19 and 7 in AAA? I don't. Yeah, good for Chapman, bad for the Giants because now they're going to sign him for four years or more.
You know, this is a topic I want to talk about later today because as I was watching the game, I was taking little notes and projecting onto what a good offseason could look like for the Giants. And we'll talk about that later in a little bit. But there are 3 moves that could happen to make them. I don't know about contenders, but a playoff team for sure. Dan, while you do whatever, I want to go to the top of the 7th inning today. The Giants. It was tied. It was a 0-0 game. The Marlins are up, and Blake Snell's pitching. Derek Hill, he singles on a grounder to center field. Then immediately after that, he steals second. After that, Otto Lopez is up and he flies out to Grant McCray in center. It was a deep fly ball. And Derek Hill tags up and goes to third. After that, David Hensley steps up and he singles on a grounder down the right field line. The infield was in. That inning is just those 3 batters. The single, the stolen base, the sacrifice fly to center field, and the soft ground ball through a hole on the right side. That's an inning that the Giants haven't had in a long time. And that's an inning to get 1 run when it's a low scoring game. That's playing for 1 run. Now, I mean, I know the Giants won, and then the next inning they scored 3 on the Chapman double. They had the bases loaded. But that 1 inning, the top of the 7th by the Marlins, those 3 batters, that is situational hitting. That is hitting with awareness, and that is knowing your role. No one tried to do too much. Everybody had a role, and everybody was selfless. They didn't play for me. They didn't hit a home run. They didn't hit a double. They just played situational baseball. Dan, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm talking. Yeah, correct. Exactly. I agree. Situational baseball, and they're the worst team in the National League, and they actually look better than the Giants, even defensively. Diving stops up the middle, Norby saving a run at second base, the shortstop diving all over the place, making plays. It's just, I mean, without Blake Snell out there tonight, you don't win this game.
No, you don't.
You don't win this game because you're not in the game. So, you know, I don't know. I just, you know what, guys, I say this half jokingly when I say I want the Giants to lose, but seriously, I just don't want them to all of a sudden get where they sneak in over 500 and they have a good finish and the Giants ownership says, well, a lot of positive signs there at the end. They really showed heart and they didn't give up and they won 10 of their last 12 to finish 82 and 80. I don't want to see that because that's what they did in 22. They won all these games against the Diamondbacks and Padres and went 81 and 81. And so they bring it back again. And how was the result last year? Same thing. And then they had to fire Kapler. Now you got the same thing. Look, the Giants have showed us who they are. This is exactly what they are, is a 500 club. So I'm just tired of it. I want change. And the only change that you can get the biggest change has to be Farhan, because I was blaming owners, and in a way, rightfully so, but they spent the money. This is the highest payroll the Giants have ever had as a franchise. So how do you look and say, blame the owners? They gave Farhan the money.
They let Farhan do his job. They just said, Farhan, do your job. We're giving you everything. They didn't sign Ohtani. They didn't sign Yamamoto, but they signed pretty much everyone else.
Yeah. So how do you, I said on day one when I looked at the lineup, I go, this lineup scares nobody. You could pull up my Twitter receipts. Said this lineup scares nobody. It's got too much swing and miss in the lineup. And you know what, guys? That doesn't change. The only reason Matt Chapman hit that ball is the guy hung a slider, which was dumb. It was a dumb pitch selection. Go up high out of the strike zone. You had wasn't it a 1-2 count? He was ahead in the count.
I think so, yeah.
And he lays a slider like right out over the middle of the plate. If you're going to throw a slider, you better make it break completely off the plate for Chapman because he'll chase. But you got to throw a certain type of – he chases hard sliders because he thinks it's a fastball. If you throw him a soft slider, he can drill it. He's a major league hitter. And you grooved it. It's all about pitch location, guys. Chapman, if that ball's a fastball that's up on the letters a little higher, he either swings and misses it or fouls it off. And you set him up and you throw a slider that's hard but breaks off the plate. That's, like Ryan Walker. You look at Walker's pitches. How are his? It looks like it's a strike the whole way and it breaks outside. And people chase it, right? Because guys, you have a split second to make a decision whether you're swinging or not. You can't go, let me wait and see how that one goes. I think it's going to break outside. When you do that, you look like Conforto on his second at bat that takes a heater right smack down the middle when Kruko said, or Kuiper said, maybe it was Kruk. He said, that's the kind of dream when you have a dream and you wake up in your dream and you see that pitch and you start screaming. So, yeah. So that's the way it goes.
What about the Michael Conforto at before the Chapman double? 3 pitches.
Yeah.
I mean,
not good.
Not good.
Dan,
before the game, Thairo Estrada was demoted to AAA.
Yeah, taken off the roster too.
Taken completely off the roster. You know how I feel about Thairo Estrada, right?
I don't know exactly how you feel. How do you feel about Thairo?
Well, I said it pretty early on in the season. I wasn't expecting a good season from Thairo. I didn't like his pitch selection as a hitter. I felt he was always down in the count, 0-1, 0-2, 1-2. He would never take pitches. He wasn't a patient hitter. In fact, I'm looking at it right now. His walk rate this year was 2.6%. He's at a total of 10 walks this whole season. And I mean, before the game, Carlos Ramirez and Alex Pavlovich were on, and they were kind of blaming the hand injuries and all the injuries Thairo has sustained this year. And I mean, he's had 381 plate appearances this whole season. It's not like, I mean, as a professional player, you're going to play banged up sometimes. And I hate to see reporters and people of the team speaking out, giving these excuses, saying, oh, it's the injury fault. No, it's just the player didn't perform. I mean, I think one of the main reasons why Estrada was demoted to AAA and seemingly won't be on the team next year is because he has a 2.6 walk rate. I mean, he is not a patient hitter. He has not had a good year. He's batting .217 this year. He has a .247 on base. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, for all the fans, like, oh yeah, he's had a good couple seasons. Yeah, the previous 2-3 seasons were pretty good, but I mean, he's not guaranteed a roster spot. It was a good move by Farhan to get him. He gave up cash considerations, and Thairo was a good player for 2 to 3 years. Yeah, but I mean, you just got to let go sometimes. Baseball's a business, and if you don't perform, you're going to be out.
Right. Absolutely. No, I mean, you gotta, you nailed it on the head. I mean, it's a game of performance. And so my question to you guys is this: if the guys that want to keep Farhan, why? You say get rid of the bad players, but then you want to keep the guy who doesn't perform and make a winning franchise. So you say, well, it's the player's fault. Well, at some point, yeah, part of it is the player's fault, but who's getting the players? I mean, if it's the player's fault, it's always you got to go to the top.
Mm-hmm.
The top always takes the hit.
Maybe for the first couple years, you can look at the player,
Yeah.
but when it's happened for 6 years, I mean, you can count the 21 season if you want to, even though we all know that was just Posey, Belt, and Crawford.
Yeah.
The players haven't performed for 6 years, 5 years, I'll say. And I mean, that's at some point there's a pattern, and if you're consistently and constantly looking at the players, then you eventually you're going to have to look at who's getting the players and higher up in the organization, like you just said, Dan.
Yep. Let me address JR 500. He says, I'm nobody. They don't care what you think. Yeah, I am a nobody, but you're watching me. Yeah, no, I'm a nobody when it comes to the Giants. Exactly. But I have an opinion, and it's been pretty much right. I said they'd finish in 4th place at the beginning of the year. Was I right? Did I say they'd probably be a 500 team and probably finish under 500? Yeah, I did. And I don't apologize for it because I'm going to tell you the truth. You want people to blow smoke up your butt? You got plenty of channels to go listen to. Okay? People will tell you all kinds of things. You want to go listen to how great the Giants are? Go listen to somebody else. I got more credibility than that. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your butt and tell you that I think the Giants are great because you know what? When the Giants get good, I'll tell you they're good and I'll be excited because I've been a fan for probably longer than most of you guys have been alive. Serious. So I've watched this team and I've rooted for this team. And you know what? This team is hard to watch. It's boring. Even Sean Estes says they're hard to watch. He was on this show Monday night, 4 nights ago, and said they're hard to watch. Okay. And he works for NBC Sports Bay Area. Do you think Sean, would you rather have Sean say, hey, they're great, great to watch? I mean, I just heard NBC Sports Bay Area tonight. I could play the clip for you. I put it on my phone. They were talking about Matt Chapman. He says, that's the guy you want up there in this kind of situation. And I'm like, are you serious? You're going to tell, and I mean, they're talking about, everybody in their living room thinking the same thing. Matt Chapman's up. This is the guy you want. Are you
No
serious?
one's thinking that. No one who's knowledgeable at the Giants
but they're trying to sell you that.
Exactly.
They're trying to sell you that. Look, this media I'll just say this. I'm glad I'm independent. If I had to work for the Giants and do Larry Bear's work for him and go and be a cheerleader and tell you how good the Giants are when they stink, I would be like, it'd be like, okay, I guess I'm not true to myself. Maybe I'm making big money and I got a great job, paying job, but I got to be phony. Oh my goodness, please. And then Asif, I just want to address you one more time. I see where he says, thanks for taking personal shots at me or something like that. How did I take a personal shot at you, Asif? I said you look like Farhan, and you kind of do. It wasn't personal. I'm making a fact. I think your picture, you look a little bit like Farhan. I was joking. I was saying, why are you defending him? Is it because you look like him or are you him? Is what I said. That's not taking a personal shot. It's a little bit of humor. Okay? Just relax a little bit, Francis. It's lighten up. I'm not taking any personal shots at anybody. Okay? I'm just having a little fun. That's all.
Matt Chapman's hitting 244 this year. He was hitting 244 before this game this year. They put his stats up on the pregame show. He's hitting 244. His 21 home runs lead the team. He has 64 RBIs. He has 88 runs, which is pretty good. That leads the team. But he has a 771 OPS. That's your MVP. That's who you're saying is the king and the savior to the Giants. I mean, let's be serious. He has a 244 average and he has a 771 OPS. I mean, come on. Has the standard been lowered? Has the bar been lowered that much where a guy hitting 244 is all of a sudden the best player on your team?
Yeah. Exactly. Some of you guys talk about I wanted the Giants to lose. And I said it because I do want Farhan gone. If I thought they were a really good team and they were just having bad luck, I wouldn't be saying these things. I'd be like Robert Rothberg. I would be like, I think they can go 21-6. I really do. I think they could do it. I used to believe that in the 93 teams like that. When I saw that a team was good, are you kidding? I'm not going to wish they lose. But guys, hear my heart out. I don't want Farhan back. And I know how this franchise works. If the heat's not on them, they're just going to take the easy road. And the only way Farhan is gone is if enough people get fed up. And how do people get fed up? By seeing a crappy product constantly. And it takes everybody talking about it, not just me and Larry and Joe Shasky and a couple of other guys, Bonta Hill. It takes a lot of people talking about the Giants. You need guys like, Cole Kuiper to say this team's awful. This is boring to watch. Alex Pavlovic, they have a podcast together. They need to come out and say this is a really bad team and something's got to change. They don't have to say fire Farhan because they work for the Giants. They can't say that. I understand that. You can't expect somebody that works for the Giants or has somewhat of a relationship for them to, Slusser and Pavlovich and Bagley. They're not going to come out and say fire Farhan. They can't. But you know who can or could and did? Dieter Kurtenbach came right on this show, said he's had enough, and he wrote an article because he's not tied in. His paycheck doesn't come from the Giants. So I don't expect guys to. You saw Logan Webb last year. His paycheck came from the Giants, but what did he say? Something's got to change. Mm-hmm. And I know he was referring to Kapler, but I think he was referring to Farhan probably too.
If you asked him the same question this year, at the end of this year, or right now, I bet he would say along the lines of the same thing.
Yeah, he might have to be careful. But guys, these no, I'm not going to criticize Bobby Evans because Bobby Evans only had the team for 3 years, and one of them he made the playoffs. And the other two, the team was going down. They were out of their, they ran out of guys, and they had to make some, some choices. But you know what? Bobby helped put the whole thing together. He was director of minor leagues player personnel.
Player development.
Who did he develop? Well, all those young guys that came up and won championships. Okay. And 7 or 8 of the guys are their better players on this team. Where do you guys think Ryan Walker came from?
Not Farhan, guys. Bobby Evans.
Farhan. Bobby Evans. I know Duvall struggled this year, but he was an all-star last year. How about Duvall? Bobby Evans. How about Ramos? Bobby Evans. How about Matos and Luciano? They haven't even been given a shot. Bobby Evans. How about Tyler Rogers? Bobby Evans. Okay. Guys, there's 7 guys or so, 6, 7 guys on this team, and guys that should be, and guys, you think if I'm not going to get on here and rip a guest. I'll ask tough questions. If I had Farhan, I'd be respectful to him if he was on here, if he had the courage to come on here. But I would ask him tough questions like, why did you do this? Why didn't you make any trades last year when you were first in line in the wild card? Because you told your clubhouse you really weren't sure if they had enough to do it. Or you think you're telling them we've got enough, but when you go out and get a big-time player, it gives them a boost.
AJ Pollock doesn't give a boost.
Yeah. I'm convinced the Giants won the division in 21 and held off that tough Dodger team because Chris Bryant gave that clubhouse a spark. They're like, whoa, we got Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant was a player back then. He's fallen way off and his career's gone completely south since he left San Francisco. But look, Chris Bryant was a big spark, and it told the team we can win. And if you listen to Farhan, he said he had to do it. He had to because they were in such a great position. What about 22, Farhan? Or 23, excuse me. 23 last year.
They were in the number 1 wild card spot at the trade deadline.
Number 1 spot. And you got A.J. Pollock, who was coming off injury and hadn't played in months with a hamstring issue. And he promptly gets hurt and he's cut. And you just made a trade for some guy named Tyler Matzik. Where did he come from? What deal was that? Was that the Cobb
That was the
deal
Soler. That was the Soler deal.
Okay, he's gone.
Yep.
He's gone. Why do you even take a guy if you don't want him?
Andrew Knapp is gone. You couldn't have given Sable some
right.
reps? All these dumpster dive moves have just put this team into the ground, and it's just constantly setting this team back years and years and years because it's not getting better. And under Farhan, it's not going to get better. I mean, it's going to consistently and constantly be these moves unless there's a change.
Yeah. Matthew says, can we talk about the Robbie Ray acquisition? Yeah, they owe him $25 million the next 2 years. And he got rid of quite a bit of contract. So he got rid of DeScofani and he got rid of Haniger.
That was a good trade. That was.
I don't have any problem with that trade because you got rid of some waste and you got some potential. You got some potential in Ray, but I didn't expect anything out of Ray this year, and I think he's done for the season. Yes, this is is this one of our members? Wait, yes, this is one of our members. Hey, I hope I pronounce it. Is it Louis, Lui, or is it? I'm assuming that looks like Louis to me. Louis Vafali. And he says, will Lee play in spring training or will he still be out? I think he's back for spring training.
Yeah. He should be back and ready for spring training. I think he's going to be working out during the winter and everything.
Yeah, he should be back. Matthew says he disagrees. Isn't Ray injured again? Yeah, it's a hamstring, Matthew.
Not related to his surgically repaired arm.
Yeah, he had Tommy John, so it wasn't anything to do with his arm. He could make return this year, but it probably will depend on where they're at. If
they're out of it, don't bank on Robbie Ray coming back. And I think we're in agreement. He's probably opting back in, right?
I would think so. Maybe if you wanted him back, it's probably a good thing he did maybe do his hammy because he can't pile up some good stats.
Yeah.
Because if he had a really successful September and had a Blake Snell type run where he won 4 or 5 games, or maybe just pitched great, had an ERA in the below 2, and everybody, he might be a hot commodity then because there's only a couple pitchers that are, there's going to be Blake Snell and the kid from Japan if he, Sasaki. Yeah. Those are going to be the top 2 pitchers.
And then if Garrett Cole opts out, he's going to be on the market.
Now what the Giants should do is go after Sasaki and Soto hard and go for a trade of Vladimir Guerrero. You wanted to see that trade, didn't you?
Dan, yep. I asked you earlier because I wanted to bring this up. In order for the Giants to have a good offseason and a competitive offseason, and if the Giants want to sign Matt Chapman and Matt Chapman could actually be useful on this team, there's only one way I would want Matt Chapman back for 4 years, $100 million, $25 a year. And that was if the Giants was able to sign Juan Soto and trade for Vladimir Guerrero. If you can sign Juan Soto and trade for Vladimir Guerrero, and you get to sign Matt Chapman, you're going to be good. Because if you can find a way to not trade Eldridge, if you can keep Eldridge in the farm which should be you should be able to do that, then you're going to be set for years to come. Dan, I mean this baseball trade values is kind of weird. It works sometimes, but I think you would have to give up way more than this.
It seems like you would, but Guerrero's a free agent after next year, so his value is not as high.
That's true, but I mean, you've seen the year he's had.
Right. But let's give me some trades that were done, and I'll see how they worked.
Okay.
Give me a trade that worked for that was happened at the deadline this year. That was, I can't even remember the trades. It's been a month or two.
Well, before we do that, just quickly on the Vladdy thing, I think the Blue Jays are going to be wanting to shop him this offseason if they don't extend him. They might extend him. He might be their franchise player, but if they don't extend him, I think the Blue Jays would be looking to trade him this offseason, just because if they trade him this offseason rather to in the season mid-season trade deadline, they would be getting way more. Yes. So, I mean, if he's just a rental at the trade deadline, you're not going to be getting top prospects. If you're willing to trade him over the offseason, you're gonna be getting highly touted prospects. And I think Eldridge, I have a prediction. I think Eldridge is going to be a top 10 prospect sometime in the next year or two. I think he's going to be really good. Cody and I share very similar views on Eldridge, and I think he's your only untouchable in the entire farm system. I think everybody else in the Giants farm system is available via trade. I think if in order to get a Vladdy, it could cost you Matos, Luciano, and Wisenhunt, and I might even do that, because if you can trade for Vladdy and find a way to
at this point,
him,
I think I would do that. You gotta go for it. You gotta
exactly.
go for it.
You could sign Matt Chapman back. You would give yourself the best chance and that would be the best clear path in order to sign Juan Soto potentially.
Asif actually has a good comment here. He says that Sasaki is going to the Dodgers with Ohtani and Yamamoto. Most likely, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
I saw there were also some rumors that he wouldn't be posted this offseason.
It's possible he's not posted. He's not supposed to be posted eligible, but he's trying to get it. Somebody put in here about Chapman, about Slusser quoting. Can you post that one up? Okay. Slusser said on KBR this week, Chapman would be looking for 150 plus, and Boris will be asking for 200 million. Wow.
There's no way. No team is going to go above 5. No team.
No team's going over 5 years. No.
400 is more than fair. That's 25 a year. That's his last big contract. That's probably his last contract ever. I mean, what did he reject? Like a 120 last
with Toronto or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're playing him up. They're playing him up, man. I mean, I see his value. I just don't see the value on a crappy team. Guys, what good? It's like having Mike Trout with the Angels. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not even Mike Trout. Mike Trout, he's probably better than Mike Trout today because Mike Trout's not available. So, But Mike Trout 3, 4, 5 years ago, when he was great, he never even made the playoffs. Did Trout make the playoffs once or none?
In 2013 or 14, I think.
Yeah.
I want to say they played against the Royals. They might have also played. I think they played against the Royals. I'm not sure though.
This is why teams, why superstars get traded, because if they're on a bad team, their value's being wasted. It's just totally wasted, because what good are you getting? It's like having a beautiful home, right? You got this gorgeous $1 million home in in a broken down neighborhood in the slums. It's like, well, what? Why? Why do you have this beautiful home in this bad area that is crime ridden, and you build this beautiful? Who would do that?
It's a depreciating asset.
Yeah. Who builds a beautiful mansion amongst a bunch of old beat up houses and socially economically depressed area? Does any millionaire do that?
No.
No. Why? Because it's not doing him any good. He's losing. It's like Boris said, it's a depreciating asset. You're not getting anything. You're not getting any value for it. Same with a superstar player on a crappy team. If you don't have anything coming up in the farm system behind it, look, the Angels for years have been crappy in the farm system. And they everybody knew it. And everybody said last year they needed to trade Ohtani, and they didn't. And they got nothing. What did they get for Ohtani?
Nothing.
And what are you going to get for Snell?
Nothing.
And well, you are getting something for him. You're losing a draft pick.
Yeah, you lost a second-round pick for him.
And you could have traded him.
You could have traded him, or you could have added at the deadline. You could have
done one or the other, but you did nothing. I told you guys. I want to pull the clip. I'll pull the tape. You know what? Bora, carry on, and then we're going to do the game. I'll see if I can find that clip, and I'll tell you what I said about Snell. See if you can carry on.
Okay.
Let's kill this here. And
yeah, but if you can kill that, but I'm going to talk about it. If you could find a way to trade for Vladdy, and I know there was some report at the trade deadline that said Farhan had called the Blue Jays, or Farhan and the Blue Jays have had talks surrounding Vlad, and I don't recall exactly what the article said, but it was something lines of like the talks didn't get far at all. I would like to know what Farhan offered, because another problem is I don't even know if you're going to have enough without Eldridge to trade for Vladdy, because Farhan's completely ruined Marco Luciano's trade value. He has plummeted his trade value. He said at the trade deadline why he traded to Soler away, to give Marco reps at DH, and he didn't give him any reps. He gave him like 20 at bats in a span, and he was off for 6 days at one point, and he sent him back down to AAA. Farhan is completely ruined Luciano's trade value. He's not ruined Matos's trade value, but Matos's trade value has gone down. Schmidt's trade value has gone down. I don't even know what you could consider getting for Schmidt. It's gonna have to be a package of multiple players, because even Wisenhunt's trade value is down. I think he's out of the top 100 right now. Yep. You might, in order to get a Guerrero, you might have to trade one of your Birdsongs or Harrisons, because those outside of Eldridge, maybe Tibbs, maybe Walker, maybe a Rainer Arias, outside of those guys, your highest value is probably either Birdsong or Harrison. And I mean, if you want to go for it, then I say go all in. Just go all in, go for Vlad, right. Go with Chapman, go for Soto, completely depreciate or decimate the farm system to go all in. Because you know what? That's what the Padres do every season. The Padres trade away their farm system every season, every trade deadline. This year was with the Mariners, or not the Mariners, the Marlins. Couple years ago it was with the Nationals, the trade for Juan Soto. I mean, they are consistently trading away their young players in order to get stars at the deadline, or valuable players at the deadline, and they just keep on recycling these prospects. And that you're allowed to do that if you have a GM like AJ Preller, who has a background in scouting and development, and has consistently and is currently consistently developing players. That's why the Padres and Dodgers are continuing able to recycle their prospects because they can just keep on draft well and develop well and bring these guys up. It's just a repeat cycle. And the one thing that Farhan was brought in to do was to rebuild the farm system. And he hasn't done that. That's why the Giants aren't successful. It's a major reason why the Giants aren't successful. They haven't had any, they've had some, but they haven't had a good amount of prospects that have panned out.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Are you still looking for it?
Yeah, I am. I'm looking for it here. I'm listening to the. I'm trying to. It's funny because I'm listening to our trade deadline show and you talking. It was just you and me, so it's funny because you're talking twice and I'm hearing you talk. It's like trying to listen to both of you at the same time. I'll see if I can. But yeah, I'll go back to this and see if I can come up with something.
Another topic could be the Patrick Bailey and Joey Bart talk. Because Dan, you brought this up a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the Braves and how the Braves have had Sean Murphy and Travis d'Arnaud in sort of a rotating catcher cast where no one plays too much. They play about the same amount every season. It's kind of a 50-50 split.
Oh, it is a 50-50 split because I had them called a handcuff. I had them both on my fantasy team, and because I started one day and the next day the other. But yeah, it's a 50-50 split. And Murphy's the younger catcher and considered was considered the better catcher, but he got off to a slow start because he got hurt this year, so he wasn't playing for a while, and he hasn't had a very good year. But still, I mean, it would have been a great situation to have Bart. And you can't wear out your catchers if they're not superstars, because then you get very little production out of them offensively. And I know Bailey's, great framer and everything, and he's probably going to win the Gold Glove. Mm-hmm. So, but it would have been nice to have a cheap backup because then you could have used that money for something else.
I mean, Bart. I mean, I'm kind of. My thoughts on Bailey have varied throughout the season because he started off hot and he was one of the better hitters on the team, and he's just fallen off a complete cliff, which you predicted.
Right.
Would it be so crazy to ask Bailey and someone else to kind of do a tandem like the Braves do? Because I mean, this is now 2 years in a row where we've seen Bailey in the second half of this season completely fall out. And I don't know if he's tired or what's happening, but I think if he was with somebody else, with another catcher like a Joey Bart, perhaps, it could have been, he would have a much his longevity throughout the season would be better for the Giants because he would be less tired. And it's just it's 2 seasons in a row where we've seen Bailey fall off a cliff, and he's still elite defensively, which is great. But you need offense, and this team lacks offense. This team lacks a lot of things. This team lacks offense, hitting with runners in scoring position, situational hittings, speed. But the main thing is the consistent offense. And if they don't have this consistent offense and Bailey isn't contributing, then he's a detriment to the team, because it's an offensive league, and at some point you need to have your catcher not just be a good defender, because right now Patrick Bailey's kind of playing like a backup catcher. Most backup catchers are elite defensively and just cannot hit. That's why Kurt Casale's on this team. He's the backup catcher because he knows how to work a pitching staff, and he knows how to locate and everything, but he gives you nothing offensively.
Right. Exactly.
That's what Patrick Bailey's doing right now. He's giving you nothing offensively, and in fact, he's probably giving you something negative offensively, but he's a really good defender. And if you had a Bart or you had another offensive catcher who plays good defense, not just Tom Murphy, who's horrendous defensively, then you would probably be in a better situation right now. Like if you had a Joey Bart, if you didn't get rid of Joey Bart and you didn't sign Tom Murphy for $4 million, which was completely useless, you didn't have to trade Joey Bart for for 2 starts of Dalton Jeffries. That's one of the worst trades that Farhan's made. I mean, Bart's having a great year this year, but you could have had a tandem of Bailey and Bart this year. And I bet right now the catching spot offensively would be providing a lot more production than it is right now.
Oh, no doubt, Bora. I mean, it's amazing that he was so quick to get rid of Bart because he was out of options that he had nowhere to do with him, to put him. And he's got to make a roster spot for Dalton Jeffries. Come on. You know, that in the 4th game of the season, just whatever. Yeah, Blake Snell. That's another guy. No development from him this year at the major league level.
No, I mean, we've seen it. Blake Snell, he was on the team. He was on the team the whole year last year, and I thought he had a pretty good rookie season. I don't know why we haven't seen more of Blake Snell. I don't know why they brought up Andrew, or they brought up or signed whatever they did with Andrew Knapp. That was just another one of Farhan dumpster dives moves. Why not Blake Snell? I mean, is there something where you don't? Is there something in his game where you don't like or where you don't trust? I mean, there was, Dan, I don't know if you saw me put this out on Twitter the other day, but the Sacramento River Cats put out a short clip of Marco Luciano catching a line drive. And do you know what position he was playing?
No.
He was playing short, where he is not a shortstop. We can tell you this. Sean Estes said it on the show the other day. The whole organization knows that he's not a shortstop. We've seen him at shortstop. He is not a good shortstop. He is not a natural shortstop. So stop playing him at shortstop in AAA. It does him no favors when you're playing Tyler Fitzgerald, who's having an amazing rookie season, and he's probably going to be the future shortstop for the next couple seasons if he can continue to
I almost think they might, what I said earlier tonight, Bora, maybe it was earlier today. I would go out and get me a stellar shortstop and second baseman and first baseman. If you're going to sign Chapman, go get yourself a top first, second shortstop. And I would just make Fitzgerald your super utility man, because now you've got a better shortstop that can play every day, and you get a strong second baseman that can play every day. And guys, it's good to give guys a rest every once a week. So, you know what? I just realized my cam's off.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here talking. I just had a sandwich, so didn't want to sit here and eat in front of everybody. But use Fitzgerald as a super utility guy that, fills in at left field a day, center field, right field, first base, second base, third base, shortstop. There's 7 positions that Fitzgerald can play, but there's probably 5 positions, the middle infield and the 3 outfield spots, where you could definitely spell somebody, and he's in the lineup. But that just gives you a better team, because if I've got a really great shortstop, Fitzgerald's okay. He's not spectacular at fielding. He's okay. But if I got a great shortstop and he can hit, and then all of a sudden I get I'm strong up the middle, but I'm using Fitzgerald as a regular, but I'm using him like Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor didn't have a regular position with the Dodgers, but they found that he was in the lineup because
this argument's interesting, because after seeing Tyler Fitzgerald play shortstop for a little bit, he is one of, if not the most athletic players on the field, I think, at any given time. To me, I would just go into next season and say, you know what, if you're going to sign Chapman, like I think they will. Just go with Chapman and Fitzgerald on the left side. Get Fitzgerald to go to a position, to focus on a singular position, because he has the athleticism and he has the arm. He has all the capabilities and skills to play in a good to elite shortstop. And I think if he can just focus on that in the offseason, then he could be a really good shortstop, and that left side of the defense could be really strong. But if you're playing him every other day or every day, just in different spots, that I see how that adds value. But I could also see his defense as a whole on a level below what his defense could be at one position.
Yeah. Let's end with the let's do a little immaculate game here. JR 500 says, can't talk about Dan anymore because he will put me in a timeout. Have I ever put you in a timeout, JR? Come on. It's okay to disagree with me or tell me I'm not gonna, but just expect me to come back. I don't mind guys hitting me up with disagreements or anything. Just don't get personal. If you get personal and start saying stuff, then maybe, but look, I'm not here to put anybody in timeout unless they're getting out of hand with other chat members and stuff like that. But that's what my mods are there for. All right. So what do we got here? We got played for Boston
and Chicago.
Okay, played for Boston and Chicago. Okay. I should be better at this. Let's see.
Let's skip that.
Played third base, minimum of one game. Cubs?
Yeah.
Ron Say. Or how about, wait. How about Chris Bryant?
All right. 19%. Oh, yeah. Who said Schwarber? Geo in the chat. Schwarber for Boston and Chicago.
Schwarber came up with Boston?
No, he got traded to Boston for like a half a season. I think 2 years ago. 7%.
Baltimore and the Cubs? Is that what it is? Baltimore and the Cubs. Ramirez? Aramis Ramirez? Is that for someone in the chat saying that?
No clue.
Baltimore and the Cubs. Gosh. Let me think.
You want to come back to that?
Yeah, let's go. What's Cincy? Cincy, Boston?
Yeah.
Somebody played for Cincy and Boston? Man. All right, let's go to the home runs. Someone's saying Giovanni's saying Trey Mancini. Did he play for the Cubs? I know he played for the Orioles.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did.
Thank you, Giovanni.
That's a good pick.
Bronson Arroyo. Did he play for Boston? I know he played for the Reds. Eddie K. Is that Boston and Cincy? I know Arroyo was the pitcher for the Reds. Give me a thumbs up, Eddie.
I think, Bronson Arroyo. Let's go with it. All right.
Cincinnati and Baltimore. What's that? I thought we just did. Oh, played for Cincy and Baltimore.
Did they not make a trade this past season?
Baltimore and Cincy.
I'm thinking current because my history isn't great.
I know my mind's not working for the history.
We need Los.
No worries, JR. No worries.
You see the comment behind this?
Oh, what?
That is so good.
He was there behind JR's?
Yeah.
I like your comment. That one?
No, this one.
Oh, Slater. He didn't play for. Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
he did. Yes.
Baltimore and Cincinnati this year.
Yep.
This year.
1%.
That's right. That's awesome.
What a
That's
pull.
awesome. Thanks, man. Okay, played third base at least one game for the Reds. Oh, you got a bunch of people. You got Chris Sabo. You got Pete Rose. You got Suarez. Eugenio Suarez. Who do you want to go with?
Pete Rose. No, that's probably going to get a lot, though.
Then go Chris Sabo.
How you spell Chris? Chris?
Yeah, Sabo. Sabo.
All right, 16%.
Yeah.
Red Sox and 500 career home runs.
Did Yaz hit 500 career home runs?
I want to say no.
I think it was like 483 or something.
Would they count David Ortiz?
He played for him. He doesn't, as long as he was on the Red Sox and had 500.
Ted
Williams, 521. Ted Williams for sure.
You want to put Ted Williams?
Probably the highest one. I don't think Jim Rice did, but Ted Williams.
All right. How many home runs did David Ortiz have?
Hey, hold on here. Hey, Siri, how many home runs did David Ortiz have in his career? Hold on.
I already looked it up. It's 541. Dan.
There. All right. What do we got? Baltimore, Frank Robinson.
Okay. All right. 500 career home runs and someone who played third base.
Someone who had 500 home runs and for what team?
Any team.
Oh, Mike Schmidt.
Okay. Boom. We got it.
All right. What's the other game we'll close? The one you did last night. I never played that.
The draft?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is the only pitcher on the Reds with 10 wins? Hunter Green, I'm pretty sure.
Another one of my fantasy guys that's hurt.
It's not.
Not this year. Hunter Green doesn't have 10 wins?
It's Andrew Abbott. Does Hunter Green not have 10 wins?
I'm snake bitten. I got the Bora. I'm first in strikeouts. I'm second in WHIP, second in ERA, and I'll pull it up right here. How does this happen? Tell me how this happens on a fantasy team. Now, I'm not complaining. I'm still in first place. But listen to this, Bora. Stats-wise, I am second in WHIP, second in ERA, first in Ks, first in saves, and I'm in seventh place in wins. I can't get any wins. And perfect example tonight, Blake Snell. I had Blake Snell. Remember when he was pitching and Duvall came in and blew the game in the ninth? I lost a win. Yeah, it just happens constantly. But whatever.
Who was the first pitcher in the AL to reach 15 wins?
Ooh.
Is that Skubal?
Probably Skubal.
I'm going to assume Skubal.
Wasn't.
Who else is...
Crochet didn't get there, did he?
No. I think it's Skubal.
Go for it.
Yep.
All right.
I don't know. That's not showing. Which player on the Angels just became the first infielder? Oh, I know this. Zach Neto.
To have 2020 season?
Mm-hmm.
Where does it tell you? Does it tell you that's
Right there.
I don't even. Oh, I'm looking at the pictures all the time because I can't see it. You got to blow it up. What's the pictures of? What are the pictures of?
Candelario, Franco, and Gunnar Henderson.
Are the others?
What do you
Is that
mean?
what that
No,
means?
that's just like you play the game. You just pick one of those, the highest overall for the game.
Okay.
Name this player. He played on the Dodgers 2020 to 2021, and then on the Nationals from 2021 to 2024. So he was on. He was in the Trey Turner Max Scherzer trade.
Albert Ruiz.
Who else was in that trade though?
The pitcher.
Josiah Gray.
Yeah. Josiah Gray. So it would have been. I don't know which one made it up to the big leagues. Probably Gray. Because
They put Gray.
Ruiz, I don't think made it up to the big leagues.
Okay.
Up. Oh yeah, Josiah Gray. Yeah.
No,
Josiah
it is
Gray.
Hubert Ruiz, I think.
It is?
Because look, he has 2020. You see that?
Yeah. What does Gray have?
It was 2021. See?
Okay, then go Ruiz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
2011 to 2012 on the Blue Jays. 2012 on the Mariners. Then he took a 5-year gap and resumed his play in 2017.
Blow that up. I can't. I want
Right.
to see. Okay, there we go.
2017 to 2019 on the Brewers, and 2020 was his last year on the Nationals.
Wow. That's not tough. That's not easy. 2011 to 2012. Matthew, come on, you should know this. 2011 and 12 with the Blue Jays. 2012 Seattle. Wait a minute. Took a break. Was in the minors?
Maybe he was in the minors. Maybe he played in like Korea or something.
Oh, yeah, I like that Brewers logo too. At first, I didn't like it, but you know what I like about the logo?
What?
I didn't even realize it until I looked at it. I always thought it was just a mitt, like a glove, but there's an M in there
Yeah, the
and
Milwaukee.
a B, and there's an M and a B,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also a glove.
Yep.
That's pretty doggone cool.
I have no clue who this could be.
You might be right. Somebody who went to Mark Grace's 5 years off, injured pitcher. I'm even thinking I think it's a minor leaguer.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a minor leaguer that wasn't very. All right, this is going to be tough.
Okay, on the Brewers, that would mean they were on the team that played against Juan Soto in the 2019 playoffs, right?
Right.
Okay. Who was on that team? Yelich was on that team.
It wasn't Yelich. Miami.
No, we know that. Who was old on that team?
I bet it's some kind of reliever.
All right, let's just guess Mike Trout.
No. We're not going to do that.
All right, we'll come back to it.
Come back. Somebody look it up. Help us.
Name this player. Cardinals 2022 to 2023 and the Nationals this year.
Oh, gosh. 22, 23.
It's on the Nationals for 2 years, and 1 year on the Cardinals for 2 years, 1 year on the Nationals. So he should be relatively young. I have no clue.
Ryan Murray said Eric Thames.
Oh, it might be Eric Thames.
He didn't play for the Cardinals, did he?
Nope, the previous one.
Oh, the previous one. Yeah, go back to the previous one. Try it. What the heck?
Yeah.
I won't lose any sleep over it if we're wrong.
Yep, it was Eric Thames.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
He must have looked it up.
Probably.
All right. Played for St. Louis, and he's on the Nationals right now. All right.
Oh, you can't look it up.
Who's looking it up?
You are.
Come on. I'm not looking it up. No, I won't. Shoot. Chat clutched it with that one, Ryan. Come on. Come on. You looked it up. Tell me about it. Let's go to another one.
Who is the only pitcher on the Mets with 10 wins?
Is it Manaea?
I think it's either Manaea or Severino.
Oh, I think it's Severino.
You think it's Severino? Should we go Severino?
Yeah, I think I saw he had 10 wins the other day.
It was Sean Manaea.
Maybe he's 9-10 or something. Yeah.
All right. Does Whit Merrifield have a career slugging percentage of higher or lower than 390?
Slugging. Slugging. That's a lot of doubles, triples, home runs. Or a lot and a high average this year.
We know he's at a high average. I think he's at a high on base.
Slugging. Oh, wow. I think it's close.
Me too.
I think it's going to be like 388 or like 395.
You pick. What do you think?
Well, my first gut reaction was lower.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I'm kind of thinking higher because I know he had good days in Kansas City.
Yeah. 390 slugging.
Mark says lower. Should we go lower?
What the heck?
Let's go lower.
This is a negative show anyway, right?
It was higher.
Wow. What is it?
Let's look it up. Whit Merrifield. His career slugging is 415.
Wow.
So it was actually it was up there.
Wow. All right. So we got 3 more spots, huh? Right field.
D-backs 2012 to 2018. He's played for the Nationals that's Patrick Corbin.
Yep.
Jason Worth, 490 career slugging percentage, higher or lower?
If Merrifield was only 415, do you think Worth was over 490?
I know he had good seasons, but did he have?
He did. He had some big seasons, but he also had some.
I think it might be lower.
I'd go lower.
Yeah.
What do I know? I've been wrong most of it, but I did get the score right.
It was lower. Yep.
Yeah, I mean he's not that much better than Whit Merrifield.
The only pitcher on the A's with 10 wins this season. Who are their pitchers? They have J.P. Sears. Is it J.P. Sears?
Does Mason Miller have wins? No, not that many. I don't know who their pitchers are.
I know J.P. Sears is one of them. I think Estes is another one of them. All I know is J.P. Sears.
You go with it. He looked good against the Giants. If he pitched against the Giants enough,
Yep, it was J.P. Sears.
If he pitched against the Giants, he'd have 20 wins. If they're in the division.
All right, Jesus Aguilar, career stolen bases 1.
What is the question?
Stolen bases.
Higher or lower?
Yeah, than 1.
Jesus Aguilar? How long's he been with the team?
He's been in the league a long time. There's no way he doesn't have 2 stolen bases.
Yeah, I mean, even some big dudes get stolen bases.
Right? Yeah. He doesn't have any stolen bases in his career.
Oh man.
All right, last one. Cardinals Nats won.
Oh, we got going back to that. Can I ask Siri to see if Siri knows? You think?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Let's see. All right, hold on. Hey Siri, who played for the St. Louis Cardinals in 22 and 23 and is playing for the Washington Nationals in 2024? No.
Anything?
No. Siri. Who played for the St. Louis Cardinals last year and is playing for the Washington Nationals this year? Kyle Finnegan. Oh, she said Kyle Finnegan.
Kyle Finnegan? All right.
That's
Thank
what
you,
she
Mark.
said.
Let's try it out. No, it's Juan Yepez.
Oh, Juan Yepez. Mark, you're 0 for 2 tonight. You're being demoted.
Mm-hmm.
You are now going to Sacramento with Tyro Estrada. Okay, Mark Graves, Tyro Estrada, ending up together in Sacramento. Mark's from, Mark's from Petaluma.
Really?
Yeah, I went to Petaluma on a field trip in 2nd grade. You know why I remember it?
Why?
We went and saw a bunch of cows or something. It just stunk like it was awful. I just remember that smell. And
where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school in Concord, Clayton Valley High School.
Okay. I have no clue where that is. I've
I've
never heard of that school.
Out by Walnut Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I just remember that for whatever reason as a kid. And then later in my adult life, I ended up living in Chino, California. You know where Chino is. It's not too far from where you're at, really. It's
Chino?
Chino, where if you go to Anaheim and keep going up 57 and you go to the 60 freeway in Chino Hills and the Diamond Bar,
okay.
Diamond Bar, Chino Hills. Well, Chino is known for a bunch of dairies. And
dairy, like farms?
Yeah, dairy farm. And I used to smell it all the time, even though I wasn't, I was a few miles away, but certain days you get in the air and just smell like cow crap, But yeah, I don't know where we went, Mark. You said I went to I just remember going to some place, getting on a school bus. It was 2nd grade. I just remember this. I was a city kid, man. I didn't get out of the city much as a kid. It was a suburb. Concord was a suburb, but I didn't get out too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but guys, Giants win it 3-1. Can't believe I predicted it right, the score and everything. But you know what? They're back to 500, and good for them, I guess. I mean, good for the players, right? I mean, they want to win.
Yeah, the players still playing hard.
Yeah, give them credit. I just want to see better baseball. I'm tired of watching just boring baseball. And guys, if I wasn't doing this post game, I probably wouldn't watch it too much because I'd be like Los and having some nice evenings, enjoying with doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
But let me get to the band here, as they say. So long. Do we want to play our regular stuff here, or do we want to give something new out? Let's NorCal Sports Net. We want to thank you guys. Hey guys, I want to check the membership. I mean, not the membership, the subs. Can you hear me right now, Bora?
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes let me turn that music down a little bit here. Hold on. Oops, I hit the wrong one. Hold on, it's going to do it again. I didn't mean to do that. It's going to do it again.
I got it.
There we go. Hold on. This thing, come on. Play. There we go. Sometimes, we got to. All right. I want to check our live subs and show you guys where we're at. 2193, guys. We're at 2,193. We want to get to 2,200. Help us out. Subscribe. Get your significant other, wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, who's ever listening. Get your them on the phone. We were up to 2196, so we got a couple guys lost a few subs. Guys that would like to come in here and make a comment, subscribe, and then they get their little thought out, and then they unsubscribe. Okay. I don't know. That's kind of not so cool. Just subscribe if you want to be a subscriber, man. Help us get to 2,200. So it's one of our milestones. We want to get to first, and then we'll get to 23, 4, 5, and onward up we go. So, guys, we'll be back tomorrow night. Giants 6:05 game, and we should be back here 8:30, 9 o'clock tomorrow. Thanks for joining. Oh, pregame show. I'll do a pregame show. Maybe. We'll see. I got to record it. Hey, guys, have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow night.